the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
How good is that? It is Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie. Welcome to the Monday podcast today. And, God, this is an absolute dog act by a mother-in-law at a wedding. And you know this mother-in-law, mate. She's one of the most high-profile
BJ's
mother-in-laws in the
mum.
world. No, it's got nothing to do with my family. No, Chris would never do this.
Okay.
What Victoria Beckham did at her son Brooklyn's wedding is disgusting.
Disgusting.
Unbelievable. It was in cubicle 3. She didn't flush, and people were just absolutely flabbergasted by it.
It crawled out, in fact.
It was, I'll tell you what, you can definitely bend it around the old
Like
S-bend.
Beckham. Did she what? Bend it like a Beckham. They all do it.
The old back out like Beckham.
The old reverse kanga like Beckham.
Playing for the old liver stool over there.
Oh, that's good, Tom. Send that one into the galaxy.
Really good, Tom.
Oh,
that is
okay.
penalty. Gosh, yes, please. I tell you what, that's hard to kick off in the corner, that's for sure.
Jesus, that's stuck on my shoe.
That classic. Just so many jokes that we don't have at the moment, but you'll hear them in the podcast.
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
This story has a current affair written all over it. I'm surprised that they haven't done it already. Have you got a couple of shonks there? Just get them ready, Jess, because, the story starts with a Centrelink recipient has been awarded $250,000 after his insurer refused to pay him out when his $65,000 BMW was damaged while parked on a street. So it is confusing, isn't it? Because he's a Centrelink recipient. Okay, let's go through this. So he's getting the payments from Centrelink, right? But he's claiming, right, okay, so he's bought a $65,000 BMW, which, when you think of BMW, I mean, a $65,000 one is an old one, isn't it?
But a $65,000 car is still an expensive car, especially if you're on Centrelink.
You're exactly right, Whip. But what he did, when he went to go and insure it, right, he insured it for $280,000.
What?
He only bought it for $65,000. Then 2 days later, he rang the insurance company back and said, can I lower it? I don't want to pay for $280,000 for a car. I want to lower it to $250,000. I don't think it's worth that much. But what the insurance company's in a bit of trouble here because they actually, when he did the phone call, he said, well, that make of BMW, we're actually valuing it between $175,000 to $325,000. So he said, all right, do it in the middle. Let's make it $250,000. So 7 months later, Whip, he took his missus out for a meal. They've gone to a restaurant. And while they're at the restaurant, his car at home has been smashed from behind.
No way.
So
who would have thought?
So a truck was doing a 3-point turn and smashed into his BMW.
God.
He's gone to make the claim. The insurance company has said no. We're not going to give you $250,000. He's disputed this, right? They've gone to court. What's happened is that they're going, well, you know what? Like this guy can't get that kind of money. He's getting Centrelink payments. He's actually won the case, Whip, and he's got $250,000 for a $65,000 car. Now, in court, they were saying, but why are you on Centrelink benefits?
Yep.
And he said, well, I earn $40,000 a month trading on the stock market and with cryptocurrencies.
Wow.
How is this happening?
So he doesn't have a real job. And the other one is a case that's going on in Victoria at the moment where they're looking at classifying crypto as money, so therefore you won't have to pay capital gains on it. So this guy could be knocking it out of the water.
But see, wait, don't you still... So you don't have to claim on cryptocurrency?
Oh, you do at the current moment, yes.
Right,
yeah, the
okay,
tax
you do.
department, yeah, you got to pay capital gains on it.
Okay, gotcha.
As a capital gain from an investment.
And if he reckons that he's earning $40,000 a month trading on the stock market as well, how the hell is this guy still getting
Is he
Centrelink
saying
payments?
that he's injured? Like, is there an injury in there? I also want to know how he bought the car for $65,000. So I reckon down the path, if we kind of wind it back a little bit about how this guy's operating, he's obviously got someone. He's probably paid someone $50,000 to steal a car. Right, and then he's bought it for 65. So the thief claims his 15K there. He's done well. So then he goes and insures the car for what, 280 or 250?
Yeah,
and then writes it off.
So IAG was the insurer.
Allegedly.
They refuted his. They refuted his claim, and then he took it to the AFCA, and he's won. I can't. You know what? Usually, I mean, it's not very often you win against an insurance company.
Oh my God!
But this guy has won. His $65,000 BMW will be replaced with a $250,000 car.
Unbelievable. Allegedly, Tom. I said allegedly.
Yeah, we don't want to,
he's got it.
make him dodgy. I mean, he's had a win, so the court says that
underworld
he's in the
crime,
right.
allegedly.
So, I mean, the moral of the story is cryptocurrency.
Trading, guaranteed 40K a month.
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Okay, we need to talk about this. This is unbelievable because mother-in-laws can ruin weddings. This is the biggest wedding of all. I mean, we're talking the Beckham's wedding.
Oh, okay.
So this was Brooklyn. And
yes.
Brooklyn was marrying Nicola Peltz. Beautiful wedding. I mean, God, how good a wedding.
When was this? Not long ago.
Oh, no,
last year?
It was last year.
Yeah, I remember this.
Last year. So there's more details that have come out about this. Now, the performance at the wedding, my gosh, what a voice this man has. Grammy Award winner Mark Anthony. Now, you would know Mark Anthony. He was married to J-Lo for a while.
Yeah, just trying to work it out. I mean, nobody's sitting there going, finally, they're playing some Mark Anthony on Nova. The Brooklyns are worth a fortune.
Yep.
Peltz, he's a billionaire.
The Peltz is a... What is the Pelt? What does the old man Peltz own, Whip? Is it Topshop or something like that?
No, I don't know. He's I think it's more industrial. So they decided with all the cash in the world, they'd go with Mark Anthony.
So, Mark Anthony's got a beautiful voice, mate, and he's a lovely bloke.
Could have got anyone.
I texted him the other day, actually.
Oh,
he was a bit upset with the Swannies losing over the weekend. But, so anyway, Mark Anthony gets up. These details have just emerged. So he gets up, and before the song begins, before he goes into his first song, Mark Anthony asks Brooklyn to come to the stage. He knows Brooklyn. He knows the Beckhams very, very well. Then Mark Anthony goes and... Now I would like to invite up the most beautiful woman in the room tonight. Please come on up, Victoria Beckham.
Oh.
For the first dance at the wedding.
What do you mean?
Mark Anthony got Victoria Beckham to have a dance with her son.
Brooklyn?
Before Brooklyn had a dance with Nicola Peltz. Work that out, mate. Work that out. That is a dog act at a wedding from a mother-in-law. I don't care what you say. It should be the bride and groom that kick it off first, and then mum can come in afterwards for a bit of a shindig.
Maybe Brooklyn didn't know about it, but if you were in that situation and it happened to you, you would very quickly go, but it's not about you, mum. Where's my beautiful bride on her beautiful day?
A second source, I mean, this is coming from
got a second source? What do you mean? So not a direct source, a second source?
A second source, I think it was barbecue or mustard or something like that, who witnessed the moment, said everyone then watched Nicola run from the room crying.
Oh, no.
Nicola felt like Victoria did this on purpose when she knew it was a pre-planned romantic dance meant for Brooklyn and Nicola. What she couldn't understand was why. Why would they do this? Why would Mark Anthony do this? I mean, the Anthony family would not be happy that Mark's doing this. Mark with a C. Not many people have Mark with a C.
Camilla and Mark.
So this was absolute mayhem, and this is just another case of a mother-in-law trying to take over a wedding.
Yeah.
So she's happy. 13 24 10 if a mother-in-law has ruined a wedding, if you get a story.
A couple of further questions. I don't know if Source Twice Removed mentioned this, but Did she come back into the wedding okay? Like, did she dry her eyes, Nicola, and then find her way back into the party, or was she out for half her, needed to sit down and a makeup touch-up?
Well, a third source said it was such a jaw-dropping moment that left the whole room in absolute shock. You could hear a pin drop.
Wow.
And then,
Source three.
unfortunately, Mark Anthony kicked off with some deplorable song.
Another one.
Heidi's given us a call from Campbelltown. Heidi, has a mother-in-law ruined a wedding for you?
Yes, I think she has.
Okay.
I believe it's ruined. Yes, she's
Let
rung
it
me
out,
up.
Heidi. What happened?
Well, she's rung me up and told me that it was my mother-in-law that rung me up and told me that my husband he was at work and told me that he had, because he works in an abattoir, and that he had lost his arm down a machine. And I had to get to the hospital.
Oh, gosh.
It's pretty heavy.
Yeah. So I'm very heavily pregnant. I was very heavily pregnant.
Yeah.
So I've just dropped the phone and just gone straight up to the hospital.
Yeah.
And they couldn't find him anywhere. They had no recollection of even being there. And it was a complete joke.
It was a joke?
What it was
He just fooled around with me.
Where's the funny part?
It was a gotcha, a Fitzy
It was a
stitchy.
gotcha.
Was it April Fool's Day or anything?
What?
I don't think so, no.
So
And, she was just an evil woman. Evil. She didn't like me.
This is good.
But,
So you turned up in the hospital and said, I think my husband's here. He's lost his arm in an accident at the abattoir.
Yeah, and I was I was like nearly full term.
You're heavily pregnant. You're sweating. You're uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And there's nobody there.
No, I was wild. I was out for blood.
Do you need a hand?
You would have. Yeah. Heidi, are you still with the guy? Are you still married?
37 years.
Oh, well done.
Wow.
And what's your relationship with with her, the evil woman?
She's dead and buried.
Okay. And did you kill her, Heidi?
No.
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Let's celebrate the one and only Taylor Swift. She's done it, guys. She's taken control back of her original masters. $360 million. She bought them back.
I dare say Chrissie will mention this later on. She will be celebrating today. So she owns her whole catalogue now, is that correct?
Got it back.
I wonder how much she paid. Let's throw it out.
$360. I just said it.
$360?
Yeah.
That's what Scooter Braun paid for it.
He paid $300.
Wait up. No. But then Scooter Braun sold it to a private equity company, mate.
Did he on-sell, did he?
Yeah,
How
he
much, Jess?
on-sold, and he made a lot of money. So there's he sold it for he doubled his money. So it's got to be $600. So why would they lose money and give it back to Taylor Swift?
So Shamrock, who is Disney, they paid $300 million from Scooter Braun for it.
Right.
The reason it is so devalued is because of the Taylor's versions, because she's re-released every other song. Anytime someone wants to buy it and put it in a film, which is where they'd make money, they
Just
can go
use
to
Taylor's
her
version.
cheaper for Taylor's version.
So how much did Scooter pay for it? Do we know?
I think a bit, but probably a bit below the $300 million.
Right. And then
originally.
Shamrock took it for $300.
Shamrock took it for $300. Interesting to note, the Eras tour, which was the most successful concert film ever, that was on Disney. So you start to wonder if they've been talking for the past year, and that might be part of the deal.
Do you know, it was funny to see some of the comments over the weekend talking about that she'd prefer to pay $360 million than have to re-record lines in her songs about exes, Fitz.
Yeah.
So if you can imagine, she's got Joe Jonas,
Joe Alwyn.
what is it?
Joe Alwyn.
Joe Alwyn.
Yeah. Harry Styles.
She doesn't want to sing those lyrics again to record them. So that was sort of the joke running around, that she would prefer to spend the money instead of have to lay those tracks down again with those words in them.
I just hope. This is a lot of money, and I just hope she's going to be okay, because it's just, I hope
Especially
she's
after
invested well.
That little tour.
Well,
will she have enough
interestingly,
after
she said that it
little
was
tour?
the success of the Taylor's version, so making all that money on that, and the success of the Eras tour that allowed her to actually be able to purchase the albums, as in to give her enough coin to do that. The success of the brand.
Interesting, isn't it?
So me purchasing all these new, Taylor versions that came out, was that just a waste of time now? Like, did I just waste a lot of money doing that?
No, I think you can officially call yourself a Taylor Swift stakeholder now. Anyone that went to the Eras tour, we own a little bit of that.
Oh,
I've done Whipper's version of a lot of the songs. I'm hoping Scooter Braun will buy it.
Well, you actually did a Whippers version in front of Taylor, which I
Yes.
think is on our socials.
I did too, didn't I?
She was very generous with her reaction on that, I thought.
It's really good to know that we are stakeholders in Taylor's because there's a lot of families out there that wasted a lot of money.
God.
Got absolutely took loans out to go see her perform.
It wasn't a waste, mate.
Yeah,
it
you
was
don't
worth...
say Taylor Swift and waste.
No,
in the
you
same
do not.
sentence.
I mean, my daughter, I took along, she was 4 with earmuffs on and she slept through the entire thing, but her seat was $400, which is good, so good to donate that
Good to take
Taylor.
a ticket from the real fans.
Happy to help out for you, honey.
Francesca's version.
Yeah, she snored the whole way through it. So according to Taylor Swift, all of the music I've ever made now belongs to me.
Congrats.
Well done, Tay-Tay.
Scooter Braun's reaction, he just said, I am very happy for her. She
Good on
was
him.
very clear in her letter, and her team actually came out, released a statement saying it was in spite of him
Wow.
that they got this deal done. Remember earlier in the week, Fitz, we spoke about him saying that he had actually brokered the deal? Not at all. They've shut that down completely.
During this time, also, Scooter Braun parted ways with his wife, Yale. Now, what I can tell you about Yale is she's heavily followed by Tom Ivy. Like.
What?
Mate,
That is...
I mean,
No,
Tommy loves music and Scooter Braun, but
Tommy,
he loves Yale.
Yale is a successful businesswoman.
Like.
Nice
You're
to
a
give Dua
sicko.
Lipa's Instagram a break there, Tom.
And Kendall Jenner. Sorry, Yale.
That is a total Yale fail, Tom, by your wifing her. She's just not going to be happy about that
Oh,
one.
my God. Is she single now, Yale, Tommy?
Oh, I thought you meant my wife, probably. Yale is single, yes.
Keep an eye on it, mate.
Yep.
She's also brought... he was also married to Oprah's best man, Gail.
Tom's trying to...
Oh, the old Yale and Gale for your Monday morning.
I mean, we could go on, but it's probably better off just moving.
Yeah.
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Chrissy's clickbait.
Well, it seems we're not going to be getting a Reputation TV, Taylor's version, after all, because there's no need anymore. Jess, isn't this great news for our Queen and
The
Saviour?
most amazing news from the weekend. Can't
And I
stop
just
smiling.
want to give you a little explainer because there's so many conversations that go on about Scooter Braun and blah, 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 and Taylor's version. I think a lot of people may have missed out on what the situation is.
Okay.
And you've got to know it because it's over. We don't need to worry about it anymore. So originally, Taylor Swift was with her record company, as is what happens. Everything written during that tenure belongs to the record company. Scooter Braun bought that record company and ended up buying her catalogue.
Yep.
Right? She wasn't happy with that because she wasn't given an opportunity to put her hand up, much like Whipper at auctions, and gazump everybody and buy what
exactly
was hers.
right.
So she was angry. So what she did was she thought on her feet and she thought, hang on a minute, if I re-record them and call them Taylor's version, then my fans know what's going on and they can listen only to that, and Scooter Braun is not going to get the money.
So this is where I've got to ask, because she did the Taylor versions, right?
Yes.
Does that bring the price down of her back catalogue? Because if someone was wanted to use Taylor Swift's, let's just say for a Mitsubishi ad, right?
Yeah.
They could go through Taylor Swift and get the Taylor's version and get it that way if they're going to use the old catalogue. So the old ones weren't worth as much money. Chrissy,
I would say so, yes. I think her plan worked. So, original owner was Big Machine Group. Then, Ithaca Holdings, which was owned by Scooter Braun, bought that company, swallowed it whole like a round of hungry hippos.
Yep.
Then, Shamrock Capital bought the masters from Scooter's company. So
he would have
didn't
made a
own
bit of
them
money
anymore.
off that, though. He would have made a lot of money, Scooter.
$300 million.
That'll do it.
Sold. Now, Taylor Swift Productions has been successful in their bid to buy them back, and that means our Queen and Saviour now owns what was always hers, which is all her magical songs.
So what does she buy it for?
360 or something, didn't she?
No, they're not 100% sure. Up to $1 billion.
Huh?
She's got it. She's got it.
See,
She's got it, baby.
I still think, like, if you're that public equity firm that bought it off Scooter Braun, right? You're in the... You've got the power, haven't you? Because you know Taylor Swift wants to buy her old catalogue back. So wouldn't you be in the box seat?
Yes. Yeah, but there's because she's recorded her own versions too. You've devalued it, and no one else is going to be bidding, so there'll be no bidding war over it.
Yeah,
You've only got one possible buyer, so it's going cheap, mate. It's going very cheap.
Still on Taylor Swift. A personal, very sad moment, and a lot of mums will relate. I took down a sign today. Yesterday, sorry. Because, I want a big donation.
Not a stop sign. It wasn't a stop sign in your area because that can be dangerous.
The stop sign. Remember that hideous song?
Tism.
Anyway, above my daughter's bed was a beautiful tapestry that said, "Best believe I'm still bejeweled."
Right.
And
it's a great song.
I asked all my kids, here's a big garbage bag, chuck anything that's not you anymore in it, and I'm going to take it into St. Vinny's.
And it went?
And it went. All the laminated posters went. All the Taylor quotes went.
Oh, my God.
All the wind cheater, the 1989 wind cheater went.
That can't go.
Are they into is there a new artist? Is there a Gracie Abrams they're into now, or a Sabrina Carpenter? What are they into?
I don't know. That's a question for their new mother. They're free to good home.
Oh, my God. Now in the trading post.
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
We just had song. And when you think of the greatest songs ever written, I mean, three come to mind for me. The Beatles' Let It Be. I would say Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven's right up there. And the other one for me is Baha Men's Who Let the Dogs Out.
Could I throw something out there?
That's got a different sort of Venga Boys backtrack.
Yeah.
Was it?
No, that's no, but I didn't know this. Can I give you some information on Baha Men's Who Let the Dogs Out?
I never thought I would want something so badly. Fitz.
Okay.
So
give it.
It's an actual cover because it was first written in 1998 by a man by the name of Anslem Douglas. He's from Trinidad. He's a musician, and he first released the song as Doggy.
Okay.
The song was called Doggy in 1998 before the Baha Men came in a couple of years later and said to Anslem, "Can we please do a cover of your song?" And it earned the band around about $5 million.
Wow.
Like it was number one all worldwide. It was crazy. Anslem Douglas was asked. Did you, Who Let the Dogs Out, had that been around before? Were you aware that it had been played before? This is what he had to say.
Have you heard the phrase, "Who let the dogs out" before?
No.
Okay.
But clearly somebody was seeing it before.
Now, I had no idea about this, but let's go. But we're going to start by going back to 1992 because there was a song in 1992 that was called Who Let the Dogs Out by two blokes by the name of Brett Hammock and Joe Gonzalez. Have a listen to this. So that is in 1992. Fast forward 3 years, there was a female performer by the name of Gillette. She had a song called You're a Dog.
Hang on a minute.
And
Baha Man.
Then 2 years after that, there is a song called Pump Up the Party in 1997. Have a listen to this.
God, we're doing
Hang on a minute. What? All of this is allowed, and yet Gotcha has to pay the writers of Baa Baa Black Sheep
Yeah,
Huh?
I agree with you, Swanee. But then the origins go back even further than that. So there is evidence in the 80s that this guy, who was a part of a gridiron team, started it. Have a listen to this.
But what's really strange is that a man named Ben Sisto actually found VHS home video of a high school football team singing that chant, "Who Let the Dogs Out," with the bark in the mid-1980s.
You've had a big weekend, Fitz.
Mate, it has been ripped off.
Oh, my God.
5 times before it got to the Baha Men. They're the ones that have taken home the millions of dollars.
But you know what's interesting?
Look, I'm traumatised.
I wasn't
by
expecting to hear that
hearing
this morning.
Because one of my greatest teenage memories, and by greatest I mean most humiliating, was strutting out with my mates. We were feeling great.
Yeah.
And a group of private school boys pulled up and asked that question.
Who let
of us.
Did they do the bark?
Yeah.
That's not fair at all.
And I just went to the nearest phone booth and called my mum, 1300 reverse, and said, "Please come and pick me up."
Yeah. Do you know, it wouldn't have mattered if they were...
Scotch College.
Doesn't matter if they were private or public kids. It would have been hard to tell and doesn't really matter or add to the
I
story.
liked your polo shirt colour that night, though. It was really
I didn't
good.
realise it was you, mate. It was years ago, and I was young, and I regretted it. But, you know,
Would you say it was salmon? Salmon.
Yeah, well, it was more of a watermelon.
Yes.
But it went well with my loafers, if you noticed on the day.
I didn't think the orange chinos were needed, to be honest with you.
No, but I wanted to show off my my Louis Vuitton belt on the night.
I do love a pair of Todds on you, that's for sure.
Thank you. Thank you, cutie. Had my Villebrequin shorts underneath.
Todd with 1D. 1D.
Who let the dogs out? I never thought when I woke up this morning we were going to get a history lesson about who let the dogs out.
Carbon dated, if you don't hardly mind.
Well done, Ryan James.
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Yeah, let's talk about the sleepover. Because as a kid, is there nothing better knowing that you're having a sleepover at a mate's house? Staying up late, we're going to be up until the sun comes up.
Midnight feast. Who's got the lollies?
You're playing Alex the Kid and Wonder Boy, and oh man, this is awesome. Dad puts on
I'm not scared.
No.
I'm not scared by the pencil scene in Evil Dead. I'm cool.
No, I'm all right.
man.
I'm all right.
It's so good. You're talking about all the girls that you like at school. And all
I
this
got
kind of
3 hugs last weekend.
stuff. Anyway, Lenny had a sleepover Friday night. Well, this is the thing. This is where alarm bells went off. So it was Jesse's birthday, 12 years of age, and Jesse is my best mate's son, right?
Okay.
So Coops had 8 kids staying over for a sleepover. Now, I said, Coops, it's a Friday night.
many.
Way too many. And I said, mate, I'm sorry to do this to you, but Lenny's got to be at a footy game at 7:15 Saturday morning.
Oh, my
He's
God.
not having... I'm sorry, but he can go and play with the boys on Friday night, but we'll pick him up and bring him home because he's got to prepare for the footy. He goes, yeah, totally understand, mate, that's fine. Saw Coops the next day with the biggest bags under his eyes. I said, what's wrong?
Oh.
He goes, mate, absolute disaster. So the other boys that were at the sleepover whip, they play in a soccer team together. And they had soccer on the Saturday morning.
Right.
So I said to Coops, why would you have it on the Friday night? And he goes, well, not all the kids could get their Saturday night. They had other things on.
Perfect.
So we had to do it Friday. He said, mate, they didn't get to sleep until 5 a.m.
Don't.
Oh, no.
Don't.
Oh,
So what happened, one kid went to sleep at 10 p.m., right? And the boys woke him up at 1 a.m. And it was like he'd had a full night's sleep. And this kid was the only one who had a phone. So they're all 11 and 12-year-olds, but he was the only one who had a phone. And for the rest of the night, he was playing Bollywood music to make all the other kids laugh on his phone.
I mean, it was weird that Brett Lee arrived at sort of 2 a.m.
So at one stage, Hayley, the mum, went down to the room and said, boys, this is ridiculous. I'm going to sit here until you go to sleep. This was at 3 a.m., right?
Oh my
3 a.m.
God, I've done that. God, it's all coming back to me now.
It's horrific. And then so she said, I'm falling asleep. I'm falling asleep on the chair watching the boys. They go all quiet. And then all of a sudden this kid gets his phone out and all of a sudden...
Oh. Bit more Bollywood.
No.
Why Bollywood?
Dunno,
Why Bollywood?
It must be a hit song at school at the moment and all the boys found it funny.
What, they're not doing £1 fish? Come
So
on,
then-
ladies. Come on, ladies.
So then the joke
What
was,
is
let's how often can we make Jesse's mum get really angry?
Oh.
So everyone would be quiet and you'd hear sniggering and then all of a sudden he'd bring the phone out again and bang on again.
Okay.
Bang on again.
Where's Coops at this stage? Is he in
Coops-
bed?
Coop said at 5 a.m. there was a moment where he went down and he just yelled at the boys, give me the phone, I want to take the phone. Boys, you need to get to sleep. This was the thing. The soccer match the next morning was the top of it was the top of the table clash. It was first versus second. The boys lost 7-1.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Of course they did.
But in the change rooms, all you could hear... ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Of course. You know, I've got, in the words of Meatloaf, I will do anything for love, but I won't do that. I've got one rule. One rule. And early on when I had kids, I thought, okay, I'm not going to say no unless there's a really good reason.
Yep.
So right from the get-go with my 3 kids, if they have a fanciful idea, instead of just going, no, I can't be bothered, I go, yes. So my best friend calls my house the land of do as you please.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the one rule I have is that there are no sleepovers.
Oh, at your
Ever.
house, Chrissy? Never.
Ever. Ever, ever, ever. And once I went back on it, my middle son begged and begged, please, please, can I? And, you know, you feel sorry for the middle ones because they're not the headline act like the firstborn and they're not the baby like the third one.
They're the losers.
So
What?
if there's anyone that I'm going to be a bit flexy with, it's Kit. Anyway, I let him have it. The next morning, we're all eyes hanging out of our head. I've been storming around the house like the worst, most revolting prison warden ever at 3 a.m. Anyway, finally, the boys leave and he looks at me and he goes, Mum, I'm with you. Sleepovers suck.
Finally. You had to go through the pain
I told
with him.
you. Yes. Never, ever, ever, ever again. Ever.
Chrissy Swan, one rule.
Yeah, Lenny loves them, but there have been moments, where, you know, when you sleep in a new house, like different environment, kids freak out. So we've got many a phone call at 9 p.m. at night. Can you come and pick up Lenny?
Oh.
Yes.
He's done. He's done.
He's wet the bed.
He's done.
We're not at that stage.
I wanted to call all of their parents and go, can you please pick up Benjamin? He's ready now. And when they say, oh, is he homesick? I go, no. I'm about to commit a very serious crime.
Yeah. I just thought I'd give you a call. You left a little turd here at about 3 p.m. yesterday, and at this stage, it really starts to smell. Could you come and get that little...
Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie is a Nova podcast. For more great shows like this, download the Nova Player via the App Store or Google Play.
The Nova Player.